Hi there. This is a video about writing linear equations. In this video, we're going to talk about writing equations in slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Now, when I write slope-intercept form, I use y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope, and that's my steepness. B is my y-intercept, and that's my starting point. Okay? In point-slope form, I use y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1, okay, where m is my slope, and I have a point x1, comma, y1. Okay, I'll primarily use slope-intercept form, but I will show you both so that at least you're familiar with using both. All right, so in this example, it says write an equation with a slope of -2 that passes through the point -2, 3. All right, so what I want to show you is how to write an equation first in slope-intercept form. Now, what I want to identify here is that I have a slope of -2, so m equals -2, and then I have an x value of -2, and I have a y value of 3, okay? And so once that's what I've got, all right? That's what we're given. You're given slope and a point. And slope is m, and whenever you have a point, this first value is always my x value. This second value is always my y value. So what I can then do, using the equation y equals mx plus b, I can substitute -2 in for m, -2 in for x, and 3 for y. And so let me do that. So I've got 3 is equal to -2 times, what do I got for x? -2, and then plus b. All right, so once I plug those numbers in, then I've got this. I can write this as 3 is equal to -2 times -2 is positive 4 plus b, and then I could subtract 4 from both sides. All right, and what that will allow me to do is solve this equation for b. So I've got -1 is equal to b. So now that I have a slope and a y-intercept, I can write my equation as y equals -2x minus 1. And that's what I'm trying to do, okay? Now, the other thing that I could do is use this in point-slope form. So what I would do for that is I would write out my point-slope form, which is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1, all right? And so from here, again, I have a slope m of -2. I have an x value, and I'm going to call this x sub 1 is equal to -2, and y sub 1 is equal to positive 3. And so what I can do is I can take those values and plug them into my equation here. All right, and so whenever you have a point, if I'm using point-slope form, I'm going to use x1 and y1 as my notation. So from here now, I've got y minus y sub 1, which is 3, is equal to -2 times x minus my x sub 1, which is -2. All right, and so as a result, you could leave this as your answer to this equation. Okay, some people just do that, and that's fine. However, you can go through and evaluate it and write it as y minus 3 is equal to -2 times x plus 2. All right, so that's the first thing that you could do to simplify this. Now, if you solve this equation for y, all right, then what you can do is you can turn this into slope-intercept form. And so if I distribute my, my -2, I'm going to get y minus 3 is equal to -2x minus 4. And then if I'm solving for y, I'd want to add this 3 over to the other side. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And that's going to end up give me y equals -2x. -4 plus 3 is -1. And that's what I get as my answer, okay? And notice that that's the same thing that we got up here. All right, so for a problem like this, where you're just writing equation with a slope and with a point, You can either use y equals mx plus b to write that equation, or you could use point slope form to then write that equation. All right, doesn't matter which one you use. Now let's look at one final example. So on this question, on this example, it says write the equation of a line that passes through the point -1, 5 and the point 2, 7. All right, so remember what you need. You need a slope and a point. Now on this, you've got two different points, okay, but you need to get a slope out of this. And if given 2 points, you can use the slope formula to calculate your slope. And so the first thing I'm going to do is write out my formula. I'm then going to label my points as x1, y1, x2, y2. And when I plug those numbers in, I'm going to get my slope is 7 minus -5 over 2 minus -1. And when I do this, all right, I got to operate, even though these numbers are negative, I still need to subtract the negative, because all that's going to do is turn those numbers into positive. So 7 plus 5 over 2 plus 3. All right, so if I do 7 plus 5, all right, that's going to give me that m is equal to 12 over 2 plus 3. Or no, not 2 plus 3, 2 plus 1, hold on. So this should have been over here, 2 minus -1 is really 2 plus 1. All right, so 2 plus 1 then gives you 3. All right, now my slope, 3 divides into 12, so I can divide those and get a slope of +4. So you have to do that step first of calculating your slope, and then you can use your points. And it doesn't matter, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and use this point because my numbers are positive. And let's figure out what my b value is, okay? So I'm going to write out y equals mx plus b. All right, I know what my slope is. My slope is 4. I'm going to use the x value of 2 and y value of 7. All right, so I'm going to say x equals 2 and y is equal to 7. So using those two numbers, I'm going to plug those into my equation here, and that will allow me to solve for b. So let's just plug those in. So right now I want to plug in 7 for y is equal to 4 for my slope. My x value is 2 and then plus b. And so this will allow me to solve this for b if I just, solve this equation. So 4 times 2 gives you 8. So 7 is equal to 8 plus b. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and I get that -1 is my value for b. So I have my slope, I have my y-intercept, and I can simply then just write my equation as y equals 4x minus 1. Okay, now I could use the other point to do this, all right, but I'm not going to show you to that because of time purposes. But you can choose whatever point you want to use for xy. You can use either one of these. It doesn't matter. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.